Hello, this is Mr. Maximus Film, and today I'm reviewing the Rolling Stones' 1966 album, Aftermath, the American edition, because back then they did different versions of the album for different markets, so UK and American, and the American one was the only one I could find, so American it is, and it doesn't really matter. There's just a couple more tracks on the UK edition. But before I get into the aftermath and aftermath's world, I'm going to talk about my lack of content. I'm really sorry about that. I'm really sorry to the people that like my videos, to the people that watch my videos, and to the people that are subscribed. I'm sorry for about a month now I haven't been putting any output. And I have tried basically every week to put something out, but I haven't really liked what I've been doing. I've tried several Wall reviews, The Wall by Pink Floyd, and I just couldn't really get my opinion out correctly. So I'm back now, and hopefully I will be putting weekly videos up. There has been a lot of schoolwork, a lot of tests, but hopefully at least every other week, so that it won't be months long break like the last one. But anyway, today I'm reviewing Aftermath. The Rolling Stones were one of the bands that got me into rock and roll along with the Beatles. And 1966 is a very interesting year in music, and particularly in rock music, because things started to get a little bit psychedelic. Bands were exploring psychedelic drugs, music got a little more weird, the Beatles released Revolver, things were getting distorted. And it isn't entirely psychedelia yet, especially with this album and a lot of other bands, but it's touching on it. It's borderline psychedelic music, so it's very interesting. And this is also an interesting time for the Rolling Stones because they still got their blues base, but they're kind of getting sick of being in the shadow of the Beatles. The Beatles were the band, and the Rolling Stones were kind of always in the background, the second best. And what they're going to try to do in the aftermath between the Buttons and their Satanic Majesty's request is pull in a couple of Beatles influences to try to get their music a little bit more noticed. And ultimately it won't really do anything. In fact, by Satanic Majesty's request, they'll get mocked for it. But right now it's not too bad. There is a lot of British pop songs that they put forward that are actually quite good, though. Think Paint It Black, we all know that song, Lady Jane, and Under My Thumb. But they're not really straightforward pop either. They are incorporating some quirky elements that were floating around in 1966. Some weird exotic instruments like the mambras on Under My Thumb, and the sitar, of course, on Paint It Black, that famous intro. So this album is very weird. It's very experimental, and it's a very transitional album for the Stones, but yet it's fantastic. I have little to no problems with it. And like I said, while they do the kind of the psychedelic pop thing, they can also do a lot of great foundational blues songs that they were known for on their earlier records. One of my favorite ones is Don't You Bother Me No More. Or Don't You Bother Me, I think is the actual title. And it's just Mick Jagger, is doing his cocky vocals, and Brian Jones, this is kind of his pinnacle where he does all these weird instruments, is doing really nice, just plain slide guitar that works really well. The whole song works very well. I really like that song. Like I said, with the exotic instrumentation that is laden throughout this entire album, you got the Baroque pop with Lady Jane, like I said, mambras with Under My Thumb, sitar. Brian Jones is just all over the place, and this is kind of his apex, and he would kind of burn out and of course come a bit drugged out and not really contribute anything. But right now he's doing everything. He's playing guitar, he's doing exotic instruments, etc. Another notable thing about this album is the 10-minute jam at the end called Going Home, and it's just this blues jam, and the song itself isn't that special, and what makes the song notable is its length, which is the song's probably my only problem with this album. because the verses and the song itself really doesn't justify the length. I mean, it's not that special of a song, and then they draw it out for 10 minutes. I mean, they do some interesting things, but it doesn't really go anywhere. But it is important because it was one of the first 10-minute compositions, on a commercial rock record, so I have to give it credit for that. So that's probably my only problem, but it's also a good thing with the album. The Rolling Stones would go more poppy after this. The pop would become their kind of direction after it. They wouldn't really keep the blues influence anymore, and then they would return it in Baker's Banquet. And overall, this album is just a really nice package. Everything flows together really nice. You got the blues, you got the pop, and then you got, it's just the mixture. It's kind of the complete package of the Rolling Stones in the 60s. Painted Black, everybody knows that song. It's got a memorable lyrics, memorable chorus. I really, and one of the interesting things about this album is the way that it kind of twists around and does different things. Like, you got two really sexist songs, misogynistic songs, Stupid Girl and Under My Thumb, which are about, manipulating girls. And yet, at the same time, they can do that. And I really like Stupid Girl, but despite not liking the lyrics, it has a really funky, nice vibe with some nice organ in there. But anyway, they can do something as, sexist and misogynistic as that and follow it by Lady Jane, which is this kind of Baroque, Elizabethan, starch English song. I mean, it just kind of doesn't go together, but yet the Rolling Stones are the only band that can make that work. So kind of a weird combination of themes. And songs like Lady Jane really are a prelude to what would happen on Between the Buttons, which is this kind of Baroque pop album. But overall, a really nice mixture, and I would recommend this album to any Rolling Stone fan that doesn't have it, because it's essential. And yeah, overall, I'm really pleased with this. So I'm going to go over the packaging. Aftermath, The Rolling Stones, is, of course, the American edition. Keith Richards looking pretty pensive there. Got this nice white background theme that would be repeated on the inside. The white out version of the cover. Let's see if I can get this out. Oh, sorry. Pretty crappy booklet. It's not even really a booklet. It's kind of just an insert sheet with some info on the remastering. Because this is the DSD or whatever remastered edition. But anyway, I would definitely give this album a 9 out of 10. Great album, great mixture of a lot of things that the Rolling Stones were doing in the 60s. And I would recommend buying this to anybody who even wants to get into the Rolling Stones. It's a great overview of what the Rolling Stones did. So this is Mr. Maximus Film, trying to get back into the swing of things, as I say every time that I have a long hiatus. But yeah, at the same time, I'm really going to make a stab at doing 4 reviews this weekend, and get back into this whole music reviewing thing, because I hope a lot of you like it. If you like this review, subscribe, like, and favorite if you do agree with any of those things. And I'll see you guys next time.